back to my channel. So, hi, I've been sick for literally a week. Today is Saturday the 20th. I got sick last Saturday night, and I've been in bed pretty much every single day until yesterday. I had a couple of lucid moments, but only a couple. I know that I slept from Saturday night when I got home straight back until I think Tuesday. Like, I think I woke up, I know I woke up a couple of times. I had to have woken up, right? I know on Tuesday I was up for about 2 hours before the world just kind of collapsed in on itself, and the next thing I know, it was Wednesday morning and I was waking up again at like 10:30. And then Thursday was the first time I actually got out of bed. And then, yeah, so I've been on like a sick bender for days. And I'm not playing. So I have this right here, and you will probably see me taking not sips, but great big gulps from it because I am dehydrated as hell. And I have my trusty inhaler next to me because I'm gonna be having shortness of breath issues. On Thursday, and I was feeling myself, and I was like, yeah, this is great. I can actually get out of bed now. I can talk. Woo, this is great. Now, first of all, anyone who's ever had like chronic lung issues, like I've had chronic lung problems my entire life. Like I was born full term, but my lungs weren't developed. So I spent like the first 3 months of my life in the hospital. But people around me get sick constantly, and I'll get sick maybe once every 5 years. And then usually it doesn't last longer than a week. The symptoms don't last longer than a week, but because you have chronic lung problems, you'll look good. Like I look great right now, and I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, and I'll probably be able to keep this up for like another 20 minutes. But if I actually get up and try to do something, I'll probably pass out, and it'll stay that way for like another 20. No, it'll probably stay like that for like another 3 weeks at least before I can actually start to be completely like physically active again. All that to say was, I got up on Thursday and I said, yeah, I feel great, and I forgot who I was for a minute. I did. I'm still on the albuterol inhalation solution, as well as oral steroids, which combined make me dumb, like real dumb. So I have about 4 hours worth of video talking about absolutely nothing. It's funny. And I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna chop that video up along with some pertinent information that I'm going to impart today as well. And then I'm just going to put that out there as a cautionary tale, people. Because, yeah, medication and making videos, yeah, they don't mix. You shouldn't do it. So like I said, there have been a lot of new foundations that have dropped in the last couple of months. One of them is this new Dior Forever Undercover 24-hour full coverage foundation. Now, I've never actually tried a Dior foundation before, so I really kind of wanted to try it, not only because of that, but because when I was doing some research the other day into which brands have foundations that swing kind of peachy, Dior was one of the ones that came up in the search. So this foundation is $52 from Sephora or the Dior website. You get 1.3 ounce of product, and I picked up the shade 51, which is described as a medium deep to deep with warm yellow undertones, and this is what it looks like. So far, it looks like a pretty good match. I actually have worn this once before. I tried it a couple of days ago. And one of the things that I do when I try out foundations is I tend to try them for like a few days with different primers, different setting powders, and stuff like that. I had tried this out, I want to say about 2 days ago. And while I liked the finish of it 2 days ago, it did something that I wasn't expecting. It kind of went olive on me, which was incredibly weird because you look at this and this has absolutely no olive tones in it whatsoever. So I didn't know what was happening at first. And then I tried another new foundation with the same primer that I used, which was the Makeup Forever Step 1 primer. And I realized that the Makeup Forever Step 1 in Caramel, and I realized that a lot of the new foundations that I've been trying are peachy undertoned, and for whatever reason, the second foundation that I tried, the same thing happened, and the only thing between the two of them that was the same was, number one, both of them had peachy undertones, and the primer that I used, which was the Makeup Forever primer. So I tried the other foundation again, and this time I used my my Black Up Strobing primer, and the finish was a completely different finish and absolutely beautiful. So today I am also going to try this one more time with the Black Up Strobing primer to see if I can get it to perform the way the other foundation performed with the Black Up Strobing primer. This is supposed to be a soft satin matte finish. When I tried it before, every time I walked past the mirror, even though the undertone was like super off because olive and I am not at all olive, I just couldn't get over how absolutely like wonderful my skin looked. It just looked like the most beautiful thing ever. It just looked smooth, and you know, it was hard to say. This is what 51 Praline looks like. As you can see, it's kind of creamy, a little bit loose, not terrible. So let me get slightly closer, and you can see that it does have a very peachy undertone. It really does smell very perfumed. I really hate that about French cosmetics. Like, someone told them that dousing their product in perfume was sexy. It's not. And when you're having like breathing issues like I've been having all week, having to inhale a whole bunch of perfume in your foundation, that's not the move. This is one go, which normally is, you know, it's fine for me because this is about the level of coverage that I care for. It is very light coverage, but since it's supposed to be 24-hour full coverage, let's go in with a little bit more and see just how well it builds up. This is gonna be so painful for me because I'm gonna be like, too much. But I like the way it kind of just like melts into my skin and becomes one with my skin though. I did actually have the Undercover concealer to try as well, but and I did also get some of the Dior Addict new lip tattoos, but I can't find the box that they came in. Like, I was cleaning up in my delirium in the last couple of days, and apparently I may have thrown them out. Okay, so if you can see this side over here, I'm just going to take it everywhere. Over my eyes, under my eyes. Alright, so here's the fuller coverage side versus the very sheer side that I did over here. And you can see like the coverage did increase, but it's not like, it's not crazy and it's not cakey. It still looks very, very natural. So just go back in this side, finish it all. And one of the things I really like about this foundation is that it gives you time to work it in. Like, you can work slowly, you know, like as I'm talking right now and working at the same time and not worry that it's going to dry in patches and you're going to wind up with like gross cake face. Alright, and there is the full face. I don't know, it looks pretty good to me, but at the same time it also kind of looks a bit olive, which would be super disappointing because this is supposed to be warm. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I'm crazy and it doesn't actually look olive. Let me know. So this is what the final phase of my face looks like, I guess. So about the foundation, apparently it's supposed to be a soft satin matte. Check on that. It's also very, very comfortable on the skin. Can't feel it. My skin feels like it's breathing, not heavy, not overly, not even a little bit aware that I have foundation on. So check on that. Very comfy. When I wore it the other day, it seemed to hold up pretty well, but once again, I've been sick, so I haven't really been going outside. I did sit outside in the direct sunlight for, I want to say, about an hour and a half, and it was pretty warm out that day. It didn't break up or anything like that, but I haven't really been able to do a true wear test of the type that I would normally do because I haven't been going anywhere. Well, right now, as my first impression stand, I really do like this foundation. I like the way it feels on the skin. I like the way it glides onto skin. It actually feels really, it's weird because I had an experience putting this foundation on. It just kind of glides onto the skin very, very well. I haven't had any transfer. I didn't have any transfer the other day when I used it. I'm not anticipating having any transfer today. I may check back in a little bit later to let you know whether or not I've had transfer with the foundation. But like I said, I don't anticipate having any. That's number one. And yeah, so far so good with this foundation. My shade, once again, is number 51, Praline. Is it a little bit too dark? I don't think so. I think it's actually pretty flexible for me, to be honest with you. I'll probably be able to take that shade into summer if I wanted to, which will be a really good test for the foundation because it does dry down to a satin powder. So tuning into my Dior Forever Undercover foundation review. The shade that I got was 51 Praline, which is described as a medium deep to deep with warm yellow undertones. No foundation ever really matches me perfectly, but if you do need reference points, these are some of the foundations that have the best matches that I've been using for like the last year or so. Obviously, Fenty Beauty 370 or 390. If I want to go a little bit warmer, I will do 390, but either one of those they're flexible enough, it's fine. And Huda Beauty 440G Cinnamon, full coverage, my holy grail foundation that I actually, man, if they ever discontinue that foundation, I'll cry. But Hourglass Vanish foundation stick in Warm Almond, which technically is my summer shade. I haven't really worked out a winter shade because I find that it's flexible enough that if I don't really want it to be that dark, I can just like lighten it up with powder, and it's fine. I mean, I actually like the darker finish, so I don't really care about switching up shades that much. Kojendo, is that how you pronounce it? Or is it Kogendo? I don't know. Anyway, Kogendo Moisture, Maifanshi Moisture Foundation in 310. What else? Yeah, those are the foundations that I've been using for like the last year. So if you need a reference point for those, then those would be good reference points. As for drugstore, nothing in the drugstore has actually matched me perfectly enough for me to say, hey, this is the shade that I wear, try this one. Yeah, none of the drugstore foundations match me that well. I usually have to lighten or do some kind of fixing to make them work for me. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and as usual, I hope that I was helpful in your decision to maybe or maybe not get this Dior Forever Undercover foundation. Yeah, and as usual, I shall see you in the next one. Bye.